120 odd us did our course, and whilst I was in Australia, I probably graduated about the top 5 in my class. And for the first time, the Australian Army will offer one position to be a lecturer in tactics, maneuver warfare at the leading Australian Army Tactics and Land Warfare Center in Canberra. I was really blessed that in 1992 I was given a 3-year contract to be transferred into the Australian Army as a tactics instructor. So I took the opportunity to do the best, to learn as much as possible with my family then. And we were able to live, paid like an Australian officer, live high standards, but working for somebody's country, which I enjoyed. And today I'm really indebted to the Australian Army and the government to give me that opportunity. Whilst I was in Australia, I was privileged to enter into the career management selection of officers, because the Australian Army was now producing academics as military officers, not only carrying hand grenades and bombs, but now conceptual and strategic thinkers in planning. So I got into that education system, and they offered me a degree in management studies whilst I was still working, all paid for by the Australian government. I said, I wish I was, I'm only 5'6", figures about 6 foot. I was an operations officer in 1989 in Vaudeville. And in 1990, a rare opportunity was presented to me. I was selected to do my degree in military arts and science at the Australian Leading War College. So I took the opportunity. If I had passed a special force training, this is the textbook stuff. This is reading, and I just love reading. So I took the opportunity to go to Australia Army Command and Staff College. And I'm really pleased to say that I'm a graduate of the leading military war college where all generals in the Commonwealth are trained, and few Americans also come and train here. Captain, just a junior captain, in the command post. We dug a hole, we had radio systems with overhead protection, OHP, and they said the Prime Minister was coming. So we in troops preparing for 112 operations, so we were all excited. But on the day I went to see the Prime Minister was dressed in military uniform. Hello! Absolute change of scene. From being wearing a 3-piece suit, working as the Prime Minister, this time as a soldier without a rank. I didn't know whether the salute, which I did, but this is the Prime Minister in uniform. You can imagine. The CEO of the country decided that we should go and as brothers in 112. I was really privileged today. I am really privileged to wear a 112 medal of honor, because myself and another 500 soldiers or so assisted our brothers liberate 112 against a rebellious movement sponsored by Phoenix movement by a guy called Jerry Singarok. Contained the full nature of the operations is in my autobiography, so you can read later on. So we went to 112. Coming back, something happened. For the first time in history, and Gary will be interested to hear this. It's a testimony. It can be tested against records. The U.S. government offered for the first time a young capable officer to be sent to the state of Washington, Fort Lewis, Washington, to train in special operations for NATO preparations for troops for NATO operations in Europe. I didn't know. I was just innocently in Vivek. And there are about 320 officers in my category. And I got a signal from Marine Barracks at 86506. Captain Jerry Singarok is now selected to train with the 25th Light Infantry Division in Hawaii and seconded to Fort Lewis, Washington for NATO and Special Forces training. Just imagine, barely 5 years as a commissioned officer. And I said, well, I left Tucker Island as a kid. I flew on the aircraft, and I've been out to Baroka, and now I'm going to venture for the first time to America. Land of everybody's dreams. So in 1980, I departed, and I ended up in Hawaii, where everybody wants to be, Waikiki, all paid by the U.S. government, around in Waikiki, and orientation training at Schofield Barracks in Hawaii before deployment on a C-141, about an 8-hour trip into cold winter Washington. There are two Washingtons. One is Washington, D.C., District of Columbia, that's where the nerve center of America. The other one is the state of Washington, is the border between Canada and Niagara Falls. So I ended up in Washington. I'm going to be short, but it's important to set the scene. So we ended up at Fort Lewis, Washington for 6 weeks in cold, in snow, setting up demolitions, using night vision devices, weapons I've never used before, doing special operations training, living in swamps in Savannah, and just doing those exercises. And guess what? I said, I don't have snow in my country, but I'm going to beat this. It's all in my mind. I'm going to beat it. And I enjoyed everything. But today I proudly wear a Special Force badge presented to me in Washington. I've never lost it. It's here with me. And another thing happened to me in Washington, Fort Lewis. Every morning we used to drive past the big Humvees and those wheeling jeeps and whatever, and we're in a big convoy. And I always see that against all other flags, the big American flag, and I saw a tiny Papua flag flying there. And I was wondering. I was brave enough to ask my commanding officer, he's a general, and young people, officers like me don't close to the general. One day I had the opportunity, I said, sir, every morning I used to drive past, I used to see the company flag fly. Well, what does it all know? He said, the base has 33,000 soldiers. The base never goes to sleep. They're training McCloy Air Force Base is, getting aircraft in and out, troops going in and out. Said, there are 33,000 soldiers here. But you are the company, you the ambassador of company. That's why we own the flag. Company flag. So I made this commitment in my life that everywhere I go, I must wear my Special Force badge. And I'm a patriot. I have to wear a company flag all the time where the heart is. I said, okay. Yeah. So I come back and I did some training, pushed up a little bit in rank, and something happened in 1989. The rebels decided to close the mine on Bougainville. Panguna was nearly closing, and I was asked to go as operations officer to command the units there. And I had my first taste of operations in Bougainville. And I told him this story because I will repeat briefly. And they're getting ready to do their exams next Monday. And I said, if you're from Kakar Island, you can appreciate the distance between my village, which is deep, and Kawailo village. Mom used to wake me up at about 5 o'clock in the morning. In those days, there was no luxury of a 10 kg or 5 kg rice basket. We either had a bilum or a coconut basket. And in there will be a taro, red taro, and a coconut, fresh coconut. That was my meal for the day. So I used to walk about 20 kilometers a day as a small boy through some of the most virgin forests to go to school. I did that religiously for nearly 6 years. I had no book, and there's some days that I did not want to go to school. I'm a little bit shorter. Our father, Valim and I, our father, is about 5 to 7 or 8. He had huge hands. His size shoe was about 14. And when I refused to go to school, I was at the mercy of his hands. And that was my upbringing. But it's important to tell these children that in our school, that in our house, there was no book. The first book I ever won was at grade 6 when I was the most improved student. And the book is called Terry the Jungle Boy. That was the only book I had. Now, my sister before me, Valim, was already selected to go to Asroka Lutheran High School. So, to this day, the first boat ride I ever had, and in those days I was selected for some reasons that I had to follow my sister to be educated by the Lutheran mission in Goroka. It was the mission of my father. There was no high school on Kakar Island, but a couple of things that excited us. When you stand on Kakar Island at night, the only thing as a child looking at the mainland is this Kalibo light. And we used to say, the night is up there. And when people come in, they've not been to Manane. And we used to mesmerize, we used to wonder what it was like to be in Manane. But guess what? In 1969, I had my first chance to camp on Simba, the Lutheran boat, with my sister in tow. We turned up, and that was my journey. The exciting thing about living Kakar Island was there was no high school at that time. Kakar High School was just being built, and we were forced to leave the island. As kids, barely 12, 15, we had to leave school, we had to leave the comforts of our home to be educated. So we departed, and the exciting thing about leaving Kakar Island was, yes, we'll see Kalibo Lighthouse if we had a chance. If Simpang came in through Kodawak and we'll see the lighthouse. In those days, it was a shortcut to the passage. And secondly, we'll be truck service, very white people, Chinamen, and all sorts of people. But the most important thing arriving at the Malay is to go by Ensign to Goroka. Just imagine. Just imagine, in a quest where you start off a journey from the innocence of an island, the remoteness, the tyranny of distance basically lets us just to be given that rare opportunity to be educated. So off we go. We took off, lay students were the same, and some of them were way by the first Highlands Highway. We were all turning up at Goroka. We turned up at Goroka and some few things happened. Firstly, you must have a Bible, you must have a plain cups, book, fork, and you must have a spade. So that's what we end up with, because the school doesn't provide food. You, Sumati, you have to go and dig in the farm to produce cocoa, cabbage, carrot, tapioca, and every time you go to harvest, the school has to weigh your food to tell you that yes, you are a productive member of the school, or you're not producing enough cocoa, there's something wrong with your productivity. So we were held accountable, but I grew up on farming with my mother and my sisters. So that was already in me, so that was a plus for me, apart from the coal. And our teachers, many American Canadians, one or two Dutch men and women, they told us, if you don't have a book to read, read your Bible. So out of innocence of having no access to literature for a book, we started to read the Bible. And some of my mates became very, very proficient. Even in the first year, they said, what pastor I walk from here? And we were Martin Luther King. So you see, the tale that I'm trying to tell the students at grade 8, and I'm so many of you sitting in the audience have a similar tale with me along with my sister. So we were well educated, and the advice that we were having by our expatriate teachers was, you got to read and read and read. Nothing else. Read, 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 and speak English, English, English. Today, I was really concerned. I wanted to reprimand the teachers that they were introducing me in pidgin. They were doing Milton and talking like as if it was a community affair. So basically, we set our whole nation for failure. So these are the challenges that we've gone through. Anyway, National Calumpang High School, I did quite well. Only 1% or so of the form fours were selected either to go to Greenery or to go to Sugary or Caravan. And as usual, because I won this area as jungle boy, I was focused to do well in the 4 years at Asarok. Thanks to the Commission, who have really grounded me at 4 important years of my career. Producing food out of my own hands, discipline, worship every morning at class, in the evening, roll call, lights out, every was a kibbutz, run like the Jews. Today they're surrounded by all sorts of enemies. But I went through that. My sister before me, she ended up at university, and she talked about her own life to confirm some of the challenges that we're going on today. She went to uni to do delivery as she started arts and graduated it. And later on went to London to do her master's postgraduate studies. And out of a lot of students graduating, I was selected to go to Sugary because they said that I was too young to go to uni. So I went to Sugary. I can never forget at Sugary 237, I saw that the Australian Army was conducting 35 cadet battalion. It was a compulsory training established by the Australian administration for selected students doing grade 11 and 12 to join school cadets, so that after hours they can develop some military discipline and some techniques so that they can be worthy members when they leave school. And obviously to serve humanity. And I decided to join the school cadets, but when I joined the school cadets, I took it as a disciple. I started polishing my shoes and shaving, and of course I had to join school cadets because the school cadets had free show, razor blade, rations, and I was able to have extra amenities unlike other students. So it was very exciting for me. And I continued to excel in my academic achievements, finishing Form 6 at those times, which is grade 12. I don't know how many distinctions I got, but that's something else. So my my home teacher, headmaster, Mr. Malcolm Gordon, a Scottish guy, a typical Scottish accent, said, Mr. Singarok, you have been selected, you will be selected with a handful of students graduating in the top 5 or 6 to read law. Yeah, and I said, okay, I'm going to. My dad said, we hope at the magistrate na tiap lagi, nanti lawyer, and tiap na patrol officer, so you must come up lawyer. Mila ba you come up with judge on speed of the day, ba you come up judge, you might come up lawyer. So that was the command I got from Dad. So my mind, there was a fixation that I'll be a lawyer. I could be a magistrate or judge one day. Guess what? This is 1974. 1975 will be independent. I'm finishing grade 12 for Form 6 in 74. Now, I was born in 1956, was the Vietnam War was on. The Malaysian confrontation was on. The spread of communism was coming this way. And in the forest on Kappa Island, there were rust of evidence of relics of barges and tanks and fuel dumps. And I took it upon myself that my goodness, if I don't join the army, this country will be overrun by communism. So I took the whole responsibility, the defense of our community, as an innocent graduate of Form 6, that I will defend the PNG at all costs. So something happened in 1974. Two things. I joined the army, school cadets, and the army recruiting tension. They always target Kerouac and Sugeri because they'll get the cream. So the army recruitment turned up at the mass laboratory building to Sugeri. That mass laboratory is the culprit that they used the venue to recruit me. And when the army noticed what came up, few of us were talking, hey, so many people are here. I want to be a pilot. Some guys said, oh, I just want to wear the white Navy cap, and I just want to sail the sea, see the world. And some of my mates said, I want to wear the army green. I want to be a soldier. So now notice what came up. The recruiting thing came up, and they were speaking Spanish. Ex-Vietnam, Australian Army, recruiting team, and my brother Joe Moke will say exactly the same how he joined the Army. And of course, Captain Shamsen Masud, please you stand up, one side from me. 1 year ahead of me, please. Thank you, sir. Sit down. So the headmaster had that Jerry Singarok is lined up to recruit. So quickly, the prefect or somebody came to the headmaster wants to see me. And I went to the headmaster and I was a little bit trembling and unsure of myself. When the headmaster posted either good news or bad news. And Mr. Golden said, Malcolm said, I hear you're trying to join the army. I said, yes. Do you have any reason why you want to join the army? I paused. I'm asking you a question. Why are you trying to join the army? Because it's a pride when Sugeri sends the cream of their students to the University of Papua Technology. And I said, I just want to join the army. He said, no. You go to uni, you go and read law, and then you join the army as a lawyer. I said, no. I want to be a soldier. I didn't back that way, but I want to be a soldier. Okay, think about it. I woke up straight in, and I did my psych test, and the rest is history. 1975, I joined the military as a land officer cadet, 2 years, same as Joe and Samson Maswin, we joined. It was tough. 128 of us in my class, only 18 of us graduated because the Defense Force was producing best of the best of the best. Not run of the mill. No drugs,
no build-up, no beer, no womanizing. It was just duty, honor, and country. Duty, honor, and country. Duty, honor, and country. 76, I graduated as a second lieutenant, top in my class, all because of something, the grounding that I had as a child, surrounded by my mother and my sisters, and educated by some of the best teachers in the world that Asroka basically set me up. So when I joined the army, so competitive, when they say 20 push-ups, I do 60 push-ups. When they say 5 miles, I do 6 miles. It was tough. But I loved it because I was prepared to take that extra mile. So I went to Wewek as the second lieutenant. Something happened. Less than 3 years, the 102 operations was on. 1980, Sir Julius Chang's government decided
strategy and force preparation at the Australian Army Land Warfare Centre, Canberra, Queensland, between 1992 and 1993. He was promoted to the rank of Lieutenant Colonel in 1994 and commanded the 1st Regiment, Tauranga Barracks. He was promoted to rank of Full Colonel in 1995 and appointed as Chief of Intelligence, and same year promoted to the rank of Brigadier General in 1995 at the age of 39. He was dismissed from office in 1997 over expelling Sandline mercenaries, but reinstated as commander in 1998 and promoted to the rank of Major General. He was discharged in 2002 from active service. He was the recipient of the 2023 Humanitarian Award by Australian Medical and Humanitarian Society. General Singarok is an acclaimed international author for his autobiography titled A Matter of Conscience, Operation Rousing Quick. His book has sold over 2 million, has over 2 million viewers on Amazon Books, Booktopia, eBooks, Apple Books, and eBay. This book was selected as the largest book at the largest book festival in Miami, USA last year, and highly recommended for book to screen pitched in Hollywood LED scale. He is from Carter Island in Madang Province, and he will address us today. So let us make welcome General Jerry Singarok.
Thank you, Patrick Bangkok. It's an honor to give a short introduction of my standing in the community. I'm really humble, thank you. I acknowledge the presence of Billy. It's amazing. Recently there was a post on Teachers' Day, and on Facebook, which now dominates our space. And I acknowledge Patrick Bangkok, father, is the first Papuan and indigenous to teach me when I was a small boy on Carter Island. So it's amazing that in the short time of space that we live in, we can continue to relate ourselves with people who have touched our lives and who have been empower us, give us a reason to live, and more importantly, to manage our space so that we are worthy members of our community. a very fine institution, Divine University, and the president and the senior executives who have given me this opportunity to stand in this auditorium to give what I believe is a very important aspect of our history. This will be the third time. During 2005, the Gun Summit, I was specially invited by then President Juba to come and address the issue of prevalence of guns as the chairman of Guns Committee. And indeed today I'm blessed because I've got a small backup. My wife and my children, my two boys are here. My sister before me, Valin, is here, and obviously I got a fellow Kaka Islander, Dr. Atua, in front of me, so I'm safe, I think. Before I want to start to say something, I just want to put somebody very special in my life on the spot. It's Mr. Joe Moke, who is the president of Hamburg Party. So Joe, please stand up and we acknowledge your presence. Thank you. Thank you. I'm conscious of the time because I have until 4 o'clock. Not 2 minutes past 4, exactly at 4 o'clock. I just wanted to say something about Joe Moke. Now, Joe is like Barry, sitting at the back. We saw this. Thank you, Barry, for coming. In 1975, Joe was 2 years my senior. He was the senior cadet duty officer on duty on that day. And I was a junior cadet runner. And in those days I was tough, strong, and I played rugby. So Joint Services College and Joe also played rugby. But we went out and played rugby, but after the rugby I decided to do something which all young people did, which was basically had some beer with my team because we won. But that evening I was to go on duty as a runner. And I turned up on duty intoxicated. And when I came and reported on duty, I just slept motionless on the bed in the duty officer's office. And Joe had two choices. Either to report me, which means immediate expulsion, because it was absolutely forbidden for us to be intoxicated on duty, or reprimand me or do something else. He decided to send me to go to sleep in my bed. Thank you, Joe, for saving my career. Joe left as a skilled captain in the PNGDF, and he went into the spread passing store. If you're shopping in the day, a small advertisement, go to Joe Trading, and Joe will be there, right opposite the market. Thank you for coming. I don't operate the computer, I operate the